Y'all know the name.
What's going on, guys? My name is Matinho and welcome back to Formula 1 2016, and here we are at round 4, the Russian Grand Prix at Sochi, and this is practice. So we're at the first practice session, and this is going to be quite an important one, because if my plan to do a double upgrade in time for the Spanish Grand Prix is going to come to fruition, I'm going to have to get a good result here. However, the only problem is I've never actually raced this racetrack before, so it's going to be a learning curve all the way through. Practice, qualifying, race, I'm going to be learning and learning and learning. So, hopefully, we can get a decent result here and continue on the good work that we did in China. So, also, I've not got my new rival yet. I imagine that's going to come just before qualifying. So, we're at practice. Let's get it going. Russian Grand Prix. Kaboom! So, the toughest part of the practice, as I imagined it would be going into it, was the track acclimatization. Because as I mentioned, I'd never driven this track before, so it was always going to be difficult to try and find the rhythm, and every time I tried to get out with someone to try and, follow their lines, I found it difficult. You see here, I'm dropping down to first, mistakenly. But even with that, we didn't do too badly. And next up, we move on to qualifying.
Guess who made the gossip columns this morning? Everyone's talking about this new rival you have. Check his stats out.
So, there we go. I've got a brand new rival, and it is Carlos Sainz. I was suspecting, considering how I'm always in close proximity to Danny Kvyat, very close proximity if you saw the first episode, I was expecting him to be my rival, but now it's Carlos Sainz. So he sits 9th in the championship with 14 points, so he's just 1 point behind myself. So, looking at the practice sessions, I actually didn't do too badly. In track acclimatization, I went green, but in the tyre management and the qualifying pace program, I actually went purple. Now, the third session actually started, and pretty much all the way through it was wet, so the rain came out of nowhere, and I'm hoping that isn't the case for the race or the qualifying session. But even with the rain, we managed to do very well in the tyre management program, especially. I think out of 100 points available, 105 points available, I got 100, so did very well in that. So yeah, new rival, Matinho versus Carlos Sainz. It's just about time for qualifying. Let's get on it. So, qualifying wasn't too bad. It could have been a lot better, and it was a bit of a struggle. So, this is my first lap in Q1, and it wasn't massively bad, but it could have been a lot better, and in the end it had to be a lot better, because I was sitting 19th with a very short period to go, so I had to go out again, and I did improve. However, looking at the table following Q1 session, I only just made it out. The good news, however, from the team's perspective, is Jolyon Palmer, for the first time this season, also made it out of Q1. Moving into Q2 though, and again I had the same problem. My first lap wasn't particularly brilliant, and I had to go out and do a second run. And the next time, again, I improved by about 7/10, and I was sitting 10th at that point, but as the qualifying finished, I actually found myself in 11th. So a little bit disappointing, we didn't make it into Q3, but if we were going to finish outside of Q3, 11th is where I'd want to be. But looking at the rest of the grid, Nico Rosberg takes pole position from Danny Ricciardo, and championship leader Kimi Raikkonen. Hamilton comes in 4th. Then you got Verstappen, Vettel, Massa, Hulkenberg, Sergio Perez, Jenson Button, and then myself. Grosjean next to me, Danny Kvyat, Valtteri Bottas, my teammate Jolyon Palmer, Esteban Gutierrez, Carlos Sainz, my rival, who had a terrible qualifying, along with Fernando Alonso, and then the usual suspects of Verline, Ericsson, Nasser, and Haryanto, filling out the final 2 rows. And in the resource points, again, not too bad. It could have been better if I'd have gone to Q3. I would have got more points, but at the moment, before the race, with 903 points, it is going to be, I imagine, a little bit difficult to try and get that 1150 points we're going to need for a double upgrade on the downforce upgrade path. So, but we did actually take a pretty commanding lead, 7-1 in the driver rivalry against our new rival Carlos Sainz as well. So again, not all bad. It could have been a lot better. And as for driver position, again, we met both targets. We had to finish 13th or higher, which we did, and we beat Jolyon Palmer again. So all good. And now it looks like we got a voicemail. So let's listen to that.
Hey, how are you? I have some information on the race goals you should keep in mind.
So, goals for the race. Again, finish the race 13th or higher, place higher in the race standings than Carlos Sainz, beat Jolyon Palmer, and again, place 17th or higher in the championship standings come the end of it. So, fairly straightforward. Hopefully we're going to have a good race. Russian Grand Prix. We're all ready to go. Let's head down to the grid at Sochi. Kaboom, boom, boom.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
So here we are, guys, on the grid for the Russian Grand Prix, and strategy wise we are going to be doing a one-stop strategy. So tyre degradation isn't a massive issue around here, so we're going to be starting on the super soft tyres, and at the end of lap 10 we're going to be coming in for a set of new soft tyres. In terms of weather, there's a little bit of light cloud, nothing sinister, nothing that suggests rain, and if you look at the top it looks like that cloud is going to disappear towards the end of the race, and it's going to be very, very sunny, so track temperature might increase, so we might have to be careful degradation wise, because as the track heats up we're probably going to use a little bit more life of the tyre. So fuel, it's a 27 lap race, but I'm actually going to dump a little bit of extra fuel in. And I'm also, even though we're under part Ferme rules, you can adjust the front wing, and I've actually done that. So we've got, I was on 8.7, now I'm on 7.7. So we've adjusted the front wing. We're pretty much ready to go. Russian Grand Prix, let's have it. So here we are then, on the grid, ready for the start. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we're off. And again, a little bit of sluggish off the first phase, but the second phase is very good, and we've actually jumped Jenson Button there. We're a little bit far back from Perez, and yellow flags are out. Oh, there's a big accident. A big accident on the header. We only just managed to get out of it. And it appears there was an accident behind us as well, because Palmer and Button are out along with Sebastian Vettel. And the safety car has been deployed. So for the second race in a row, a first corner incident brings out the safety car. We're going to have a look at the replay here. So this is the first accident. And it's Max Verstappen who gets into the side of... Max Verstappen who gets to the side of Sebastian Vettel. Hulkenberg gets caught up in that as well, and then there's a second contact there which pitches him right across the front of Sergio Perez. How he managed to get the anchors on and not hit the pair of them is, I only just managed it, but how he did when they were much closer to him, it's beyond me. So yeah. And that's not even the worst of it, because there was a second accident just behind us, and I came very, very close to getting pitched out of this Grand Prix. So you can see the Haas almost identical. The Haas gets into the back of Jenson Button. It hits Danny Kvyat, which pitches Gutierrez into Jolyon Palmer, my teammate, and he's out. And then Jenson Button is out, impact with the barrier. So an all-action start here for the Russian Grand Prix. And we've already lost 3 drivers. So this is the view from Gutierrez, and he turns into him. He looks like he just turns into him. He catches the back, he's pushing him around, but as Button hits Kvyat, it pitches him back around. So it looks like he's caught the tip of his nose there, right into the path of Jolyon Palmer. He's got his hands up for some reason. I don't know why, Esteban. This is all your fault. You've caused this. And I think Esteban Gutierrez actually survives this. So... And this is a view from Jolyon Palmer's perspective. Well, he actually turns across, so Oh, Jolien is not all innocent in that one. He's turned across, he's squeezed up. If he'd have stayed partially to the outside, he may have got away with that, but nonetheless, he's out, and his good qualifying goes out the window as well. So we're under the safety car, and it stays out only until the end of lap number 3. So this is coming to the end of the safety car period. We're all bunched up, ready to go back to green light racing again. I'm tucked up behind Sergio Perez. Danny Kvyat is right behind me, and there it goes green, and I'm a little sluggish off the line, and it looks like Danny Kvyat is going to have a run on us down into the penultimate corner, and he actually takes the place. He takes the place and makes it stick. And again, I balls up my last corner, but we get a really good exit. The fuel's been whacked up to rich, and we're going to have a run on that year-old Ferrari-powered Toro Rosso. And the move is fairly straightforward. Even without the assistance of DRS, we've got the measure of the Toro Rossos in the straight stuff. So it's turn 1, and we get the job done there. And now we've got the Force India of Sergio Perez and the Williams of Felipe Massa just ahead of us. So we're going to endeavour to try and chase those down, but with them being Mercedes-powered cars, I was thinking it was going to be a little bit more difficult, but we did actually catch up to them as well. And this is again without the assistance of DRS, and we're now on the back of Felipe Massa, who has been jumped by Sergio Perez at some point during the lap down the back straight. As we come through the last corner, and Ricciardo sets the fastest lap of the race. And now we're going to have a run. The fuel again is up to rich, but I whack it back down to standard to save a little bit of it. But we've got a very nice tow off Felipe Massa. We duck to the inside. And again, fairly straightforward. I was expecting more of a fight from a Mercedes-powered car, but we get the job done, and we are now up into 7th. And that seemed to be a trend for Felipe Massa in going backwards, because now Kvyat is on his tail and ready to take him as well. This is moving on towards the end of lap number 5, and again I have closed up to the back of Sergio Perez, so now looking for 6th place. And we come through the final corner. DRS is about to be enabled, so we're going to get that. The fuel is on rich. We've got DRS. And here we go. So we've got a really good run. 215 miles an hour maxed out, and it was a little bit more difficult. So the Force Indias look to be very, very good in a straight line compared to the Williams. Maybe the Williams were running a bit higher in terms of downforce. But we've got the job done, and we're now up into 6th place. And this is the middle part of lap number 6 now. So with DRS, I'm having to now protect against that incredibly powerful and nimble Mercedes-powered Force India. And we managed to keep the position there. And this is coming to what is my first pit stop. So I actually pitted, I was due to pit on lap number 10, but I pitted a little bit later. Given we're under the safety car and not using that much tyre life, I decided to go 1 lap later to see if I could jump maybe some people who pitted earlier, and also sustain my position against the guys ahead who pitted earlier. So here we go. Soft tyres going on, and we're out again, and it's a quick stop, 2.4 seconds, so pretty quick stop there from the boys in the pits as we get going again. So I think that was the Ferrari of Kimi Raikkonen that just went past. Yep, and he's trailing just behind Danny Ricciardo, I think it is. And we actually get out ahead of Perez, but also important, we get out ahead of Lewis Hamilton. So we're up into 5th. We've somehow managed to jump Lewis Hamilton, and we're into 5th, not too far behind Kimi Raikkonen, who surprisingly is on the medium tyres. So Kimi Raikkonen on the mediums, ourselves on the soft, and Hamilton on the soft, and he is going to really look to close me down. So this is coming to the start of lap number 14. Hamilton has DRS. He has a little look, but then he thinks better of it. So again, highlighting the upgrades to the engine and the reduced drag. This Renault really does have a bit of punch down the straights. If we're managing to keep a very powerful Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton from overtaking us down one of the longer straights on the F1 calendar. But it wasn't to last, and even as soon as I saw that I'd come out ahead of Lewis Hamilton, I'd made the decision mentally that I wasn't going to fight it. So if he got a good run on me and he made a move like this, I wasn't going to fight it. I wasn't going to try and defend against it. We were not racing against Lewis Hamilton. He had bigger fish to fry, as did I in this situation. So Lewis Hamilton, start of lap 16, he makes the move stick, but he was stuck behind us for a good 4 laps. So the upgrades so far, they've been very, very good and very helpful. If we could just get it in the twisty stuff as well, the upgrades there, which I'm hoping to get done at the end of the race with the downforce upgrade, we might be able to start challenging, maybe not the Mercedes, but maybe moving up higher to the Ferraris. So this is now coming to the end of lap number 20, start of lap number 21. We're still in 6th place, but the lead has been cut dramatically, so it was 4 seconds as Esteban Gutierrez is now out of the race, and we've got a virtual safety car. So virtual safety car out for Esteban Gutierrez, and we're going to just take a quick look at what happened here. So this is coming towards the end of the lap for Esteban, who caused that big accident early on, and it's not an accident this time, it's just a mechanical failure. So the engine goes for Esteban Gutierrez, and a miserable afternoon for him comes to an early end. So here we go, virtual safety car coming to an end down the back straight there. We're just about ready to go to green flags, and there we go, we're on to green flag racing again, and I whack the fuel up. But through the safety car period, the virtual safety car period, I'm sorry, I did actually lose about 0.6 of a second to the guys behind, which are the Williams of Valtteri Bottas and the Force India of Sergio Perez. Now, as I mentioned, when I came out of the pits, and after I'd done my first initial few laps when I was just ahead of Lewis Hamilton, I was actually managing to extend the lead. But over the last few laps, they've managed to close it up. They haven't been able to close right up to the back of me due to the fact that they have been squabbling and swapping positions between themselves. So 7th place has switched between those two 3 or 4 times over what is the course of about 4 or 5 laps. As you can see now, they're at it again. So Bottas makes a move on Perez, and he's going to get the move done just about. You can just see there, coming through the first corner. Second corner, that is. And this is coming towards the end of the race, though. So as you can see now, they have really closed up to the back of me. So this is the penultimate lap, lap number 26, sorry. And this is, again, another area with DRS. You can see that Williams is really closing up on me, and he's going to have a look down the outside. We managed to just squeeze him, brake a little bit later. We run it a little bit wide, but we keep it just on the racetrack, and we retain the position once again. So we've got a real uphill struggle. We've only got 1 lap to go near enough, and we've got 2 Mercedes-powered cars, which look very, very handy in a straight line, along with the twisty stuff. So this is almost the same position again, the last lap of the race, lap 27, and again they are very, very close behind me. So they've now both got DRS enabled, wings wide open. I've got the fuel mix set up to rich. I'm going for it, and we brake, and oh, we've run wide. No, Nico Rosberg wins the race, but we have run wide there. So we've just shot ourselves in the foot. I can't believe that. We have just shot ourselves in the foot, getting a bit too wily through there, trying to maybe make up a little bit of ground because I've been quick through the final sector. But with 5 or 6 corners to go into the final deep braking zone of the lap, we mess it up. So there we go, end of the race. We've gone from 6th to 8th. We've just cost ourselves 4 points, and a really disappointing end to the Grand Prix. Really disappointing end, as Nico Rosberg wins. He started on pole, Ricciardo second, he started second, and Lewis Hamilton third, he started from 4th. But for ourselves, very, very disappointing. I'm not sure what it was. I don't know if I missed the braking zone ever so slightly, or whether I'd had a bit of brake fade, because I was having to, over the course of those last few laps, really having to brake late and hard. So whether we had a little bit of brake fade or whether we just missed the braking zone, I'm not too sure. But the race is over. So a really disappointing end to the Russian Grand Prix. I just got a little bit too deep into that braking zone, just a split second too late. I was expecting one of them to be making a real, a dive down the inside, because that was the last place they really were going to be able to make a dive, because through that final sector I was pretty quick and I was being able to put time and space between me and Bottas and Perez, but just got a little bit too deep into that final big braking zone, and to go from what is 6th place and 8 points down to 8th and 4 points, so basically one braking zone, a split-second decision that went wrong, cost me 4 points today. Disappointing, but we'll live and we learn. Looking at the rest of it, Nico Rosberg actually won the Grand Prix, so it's the first win for Mercedes there. And it's the first time this season that a Ferrari hasn't been in the podium places. So Ricciardo finished 2nd, Hamilton 3rd, and then you got Verstappen. It was very close between those three, about 1.6 seconds, 1.7 seconds separating those. And then you've got a little bit further back Kimi Raikkonen, and then a long way further back you've got Bottas, Perez, myself, and then probably the two stars of the Grand Prix, Sainz and Alonso, who started 17th and 18th but come back to finish 9th. So they did very well. The good thing though, despite dropping a couple of positions, I did finish 8th, which was 1 place ahead of Carlos Sainz. So in addition to beating him in qualifying, we've also beaten him in the race. So we should have a very big gap going into the Spanish Grand Prix, which is Sainz's home Grand Prix there. So moving on to the Drivers' Championships, Raikkonen remains 18 points ahead, so he's only lost 2 points out of his lead there. And then it's Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, so those places haven't changed much. Rosberg's actually jumped up, I believe, at least one position, possibly two, with his win there. And Ricciardo with his 2nd place has also jumped up, but Vettel with his DNF, a 2nd DNF in a row after hitting the safety car in China, he actually drops down to 6th now. And Bottas, he moves to what is now 8 points ahead of me. That would have been a lot less. I think I would have taken what he was on 19 and I was on 15. So if I'd have got those 8 points, I would have been on 23 points and he would have been on 23 points. So that was disappointing. But we do stay just, I think we stay in 8th place. So we stay level with Perez. We take a little bit, or an extra couple of points lead between ourselves and Carlos Sainz. Then it's Grosjean, Hulkenberg, Jenson Button, Fernando Alonso, and then you've got these guys, Kvyat, Massa, Gutierrez, Palmer, Verline, Ericsson, Nasser and Haryanto all have yet to score a point. The big surprise being there, Felipe Massa, who hasn't yet got a point. The constructors' standings, Ferrari still remain on top, however the lead has been cut very drastically, so they only lead by 9 points now. Mercedes jump up into 2nd place ahead of Red Bull thanks to what is a double podium finish for them. Then we've got Williams, Sahara, Force India, ourselves on 19 points, Toro Rosso on 16 points, so it looks like only myself and Sainz have been scoring for our respective teams. Haas on 10 points, McLaren on 7, and then we've still got Sauber and the Manners who have yet to score. So the resource points, I was hoping to do a double upgrade, but I don't think we're going to have enough points to do it. We're just short. I think. So we got, actually, I don't know, are we? Yeah, we are just short. We needed 1,150 points in order to do a double downforce upgrade in time for the Spanish Grand Prix, which we didn't do. We were close. Well, not close, but, we broke 1,000 points. So here's the rivalry update. As you can see, I'm hopefully going to take a big lead going into there. So 12-5. So I've still got about a 7-point lead going into what is the Spanish Grand Prix, Carlos Sainz's home Grand Prix. And I think we've achieved all of these goals once again, so we will stay and keep exceeding our team's expectations. Career score, don't care. Right then, so yeah, that's the end of the Grand Prix. So now, we are going to do an upgrade. I was hoping to do a double upgrade, as I mentioned, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to. So we are definitely going to do the front wing, and then maybe drag. Should we do drag? and then do... I think we'll still have enough points left over with what we gain from the next Grand Prix to do our second downforce upgrade in time for the Monaco Grand Prix. So we're going to still do a double upgrade today. There's one. And then we're going to do drag as well. That's our second. So we have 102 points left, and that should take us... in the vehicle performance comparison, that should take us above McLaren. I think they actually jumped us. We were ahead of them at the end of the Chinese Grand Prix, but they've come and jumped ahead of us again. So maybe with those upgrades and some good performances, we'll jump ahead of McLaren Honda, Force India, and maybe even the Toro Rosso and get just behind Williams there. But there we go, that's the end of the Russian Grand Prix. Thank you everybody so much for watching. If you did enjoy and you would like to see more of me ballsing up braking zones and throwing away valuable championship points, then hit that like button. Subscribe for more daily content. But in the meantime, everybody stay cool, and as always, I will catch you on the flip side. Peace! Oh, that was slick as shit. And they've all had a big accident down there, so we're good. Are you serious? Go, go, go! Don't give me a fine! No! Why?